Hi Virgo, welcome to your unexpected reading for August 2020. Everything you need to know about this reading is in the description box below. If this is about you and another person, this could resonate with theirs or your moon, rising, or Venus sign. All right, what is Virgo's unexpected? It's coming down the pike for Virgo, August 2020. Page of Wands. The Devil, that could be Capricorn. Nine of Cups. Judgment, that could be Sagittarius, Cancer, or Scorpio. Knight of Cups, for me, that is Scorpio. High Priestess. All right, so that could be Pisces or Cancerian. High Priestess. 1, 2, 3 major arcana out of 6. All right, so this is kind of pivotal for Virgo. Okay, a bit weighted here, so it could be that it's a heavy process month for you in August. All right. Okay. What's this Devil about for Virgo? 10 of Pentacles. All right. Turbulence. What's this Nine of Cups? This Nine of Cups. So we've got issues of being able to lay a solid foundation here. 5 of Cups. This is Judgment. This is Judgment. Let's see. 8 of Swords. I think this is you trying to find a way. Well, what's this Knight of Cups here? What's this Knight of Cups? There's Virgo right there. For me, King of Pentacles, that's Virgo. This is High Priestess then. So, sorry, glasses, don't night. Wiping the bridge of them. Oh, and then I just poked the lens. Awesome. All right, so we've got issues with where it's almost like, okay, whatever's going on for you has made you take a look at what you want in terms of peace and stability and security and going forward. I think there's been a huge overhaul as far as what you consider or what you want from here going forward in light of what's taken place in your life or around you or what you've been experiencing. You're now reconsidering how you want, what you want to establish, what you want to contribute to, what you want to be a part of moving forward. And this is about you kind of accepting things as they are and making, for lack of a better term, making the best of it. And it's almost like you've just made a decision that there's so much going on around you that you're just going to try and find joy in the moment and try to keep things as calm and as peaceful as possible for the month of August. Golly, this is so weird. It feels like there's something, it's like you've had a lot of time to think about what you want going forward because you've been able to look at what's happened and you're making, it's like the blinders are off, you have perspective, but you just can't enact what you want to do. You're also not feeling like you thought you would about going ahead with certain plans, specifically in the area of something you thought you wanted with someone, some kind of agreement or some kind of, it's almost like you want to backtrack now. You're not so sure about that. It could be moving in with someone, could be roommates, could be, but there's something about kind of making a decision about what you're going to commit to for the next 12 months here, and you're backtracking. You're thinking it's not such a good idea anymore. You're reconsidering what something's in front of you, it's imminent, and you're like, oh, I don't know if I want to do that now. And it's you're the one that's kind of reconsidering here. What's this High Priestess about for Virgo? What's this High Priestess about Virgo? Yeah, there it is. There's that reconsidering. You're actually, it's like you've gotten up to this point and you don't want to do it anymore. But you thought you did, and you thought you would, all things being considered, and then all of a sudden you're in the middle of something where you're like, I don't think I want to do this anymore. So this has got you actually, instead of going forward with a decision, instead of going forward with something and joining, it could be a job, it could be roommates, it could be there's a decision. And you're actually not going to participate in that decision. You have too many misgivings about it. You don't feel right about it anymore. You thought it would lead to something that you thought you wanted, and now you don't want that anymore. So there's something in August that you're going to be backing away from. It's almost like the 11th hour. Like you're right up to the point. For lack of a better analogy, this is about someone that gets to the altar and is like, I can't do this, and runs away. Not that this has to be a romantic reading, but this is someone on the precipice of agreeing to something with either friends or work or romantic partner, and deciding it's not what you wanted. This could come on the heels of you two having a heart-to-heart about what has transpired thus far between you two. But again, it doesn't have to be romantic. It could be friend, family. There's a conversation happening here, and you thinking that you've made amends and realizing that making amends doesn't mean staying together. It kind of means you reconsidering everything. So it's almost like, okay, you get over a hump with someone and you think everything's good, but then you're like, well, wait a second. It's not good, and we keep doing this. So I don't think the answer is us going along like we've been going along. I think there's a reconsidering here. I think there's something that we need to take a look at and not do things the way we've always done things. And you're saying, instead of moving forward like we always do, and I know I said I would last Saturday, but I've reconsidered and I need time to think. And I don't want to do what we've been doing. I don't know what I do want to do, but I know I don't want to do that. What else for Virgo? Is this you backing out of some kind of rental agreement and going, you know what, I think I should just live by myself? Is this you, it doesn't feel very job-ish here. It doesn't feel like a job, honestly. But it feels like you thinking something was a good idea until literally minutes ago and backing out of something. What else for Virgo? There's that High Priestess again. We got it twice here. So this is you needing to rely on your intuition, needing to tap source, needing to do whatever you need to do to rethink a major decision. You were going to go along with it, and it was kind of to keep the peace, or kind of just because that's what you've always done. This is how you do with that situation or person. And you're like, okay, I don't want to do that anymore. I just don't know what I want to do. And I think because you didn't know what you wanted to do, you kind of just went along to get along. And that's not satisfying you anymore either. So you're kind of at the precipice here. You're making decisions. You're wanting more efficacy in this situation. You're not wanting to do what you've always done in this situation. You're wanting to do differently. So this could be a romantic offer that you're thinking, okay, well, it's basically like there's some kind of offer that is a Band-Aid for a situation, and it's not addressing, this is going to sound gross, the festering wound underneath it. Gross. But it's like, oh, just put a Band-Aid over it. That's what you've done. That's what you've agreed to do. And then you're finding maybe in the quiet, like when you're by yourself, that it's still bothering you, and it's just same old, same old. And so that's not going to fix it anymore. And so August, and it's a birthday month. So later in the month, right? But I don't know. This is instead of you wanting the peace normally that you capitulating would bring, you're backing away from that, and it feels like you're wanting You're wrestling with what you know you should do versus what you've always done. Okay. And this is, I'm telling you, this is, is it that you're just waiting to gather that strength up to finally be able to do it? Because what you've decided to do goes against what you intuitively feel like you should do. And you know that you're at this point, you're going along to get along. That's for Virgo. Whoopsie. That's for Virgo. Okay, consider too that there's an undercurrent of needing to talk to somebody, or to you're trying to do too much alone. Whatever situation this is something that you've been really wrestling with by yourself, and it could be time to tag somebody in that you trust, or to seek wise counsel about something, because it's almost like you're kind of stuck in a rut because you're not really telling everybody what's fully going on, and maybe you think it's none of their business, or it offends your sense of propriety to ask for help. But you're trying to handle something on your own, and it ends up making you feel isolated, though, because it's a lot, and you've processed a lot, and you're at the crossroads, and you're kind of grappling with it. You might need reinforcements. Consider that you might need someone to kind of just say, yeah, I agree with you. This is a good decision for you. Somebody that you can trust that would give you a different perspective, or confirm your perspective. Because there's a danger of trying to handle this on your own out of self-efficacy, wanting to feel like I can do this, I'm fine. But it's a lot. This is you struggling with something, and it might be time to have somebody point out loopholes, or point out, hey, did you think of this? Somebody you trust, obviously. But there's a danger in repeating things, because what's kept in the dark, it's like, well, I know I'm doing this, but I'm not really accountable for it because it's not in public. So, and I'm saying that because we got the high priestess here twice. And a lot of times they show up to be like, hey, listen to me. And that in turn is when we're fearful of making a decision, or when we're going against intuitively what we know we should do. So it just feels like it's almost like when you go to make a decision, and then you get so much inside your head, analysis paralysis, and you back away from having to make a decision just because it would be too much, and going forward on your own looks too big. But if you have someone go, yeah, I'll help you, or yeah, that sounds good, or yeah, you're right, that might make it seem not so hard to do. That might make the decision seem not so difficult to make. If that makes sense. But what you do by yourself, it's a lot of times it can keep you from actually doing something because nobody else knows about it. So in a way, talking to someone about what you're thinking also makes you accountable. And when someone else knows that you know the reality of your situation, it's a lot harder to lie, because we can tell ourselves all we want, but when somebody else sees that we're not being honest with ourselves and they call us on it, that's where the accountability is. And right now, you're trying to hold yourself accountable, but it's almost like you get overwhelmed by what's in front of you, or you're still not ready to tell other people because you don't want to have the accountability. Not saying that that's a bad thing, but it's a reality. It's like, gosh, when everybody else knows what's going on, typically, sometimes that forces our hands, because it's like, well, I have to, I said this and everybody knows, and I don't want to look this way or appear this way. And some people will be saying, I don't care what others think. But you do, because that's why you're hiding it, What else for Virgo? Ooh, now is a lucky time. Yay. Thank goodness. Because if there's a time for you to want to make this decision, or to tag somebody and to help you make this decision, to figure out what the pros and cons of something that you're considering, and I have a feeling, move forward with what you think you should do, you just might be too afraid to do it, tag that person in, because they're going to be able to point out, hey, did you think of this? This is a really good idea. This could happen. This could happen. Now is a really good time to make that decision or make that move. So no more feeling like you can't do it, or like, oh, I'm going to look silly if I talk about if I finally expose what's the underbelly of what's been going on. I've been making it seem like everything's fine, but if I finally let someone in on that, I'm going to feel, no, you're not. No, you're not, especially if it's somebody you trust and someone who has your back. It's just you finally coming to terms with and holding yourself accountable for what you know you should do or what you want to do. You just have been either making excuses or backing away from it because it's a lot. It's a lot. So let yourself off the hook. Tag somebody in you trust. Get those intuitive juices flowing again. Align with it so that you're doing intuitively what feels right, not just doing what you've always done and keeping the peace and just, we're going to make it work. We're going to make it work. No more of that. It doesn't serve anybody. Now is a good time for you to do what you've been feeling like you're doing. That's a good omen card for luck and prosperity, or just good luck venturing out into the new. What else for Virgo? What else for Virgo? Four of Cups reverse. I'll get to that in a minute. Page of Wands. Okay. Ooh, Page of Wands twice. A lot of times, and I know you might know this, but I make it a point not to veer off track, and I make it a point to keep things focused. I don't talk about myself. I don't sit there and pontificate and get on my high horse and try to sound righteous and all that. I don't do that. So when I explain, and laboriously so, right, what I'm saying, I'm choosing my words carefully because I don't want to sound calloused or insensitive. Just because I'm not experiencing something doesn't mean I don't have compassion for it. So that 4-minute explanation was purposeful, and it did pertain to the reading. I think it's hard because, especially when you pride yourself on being able to hold things together and to be the glue in the relationship, or in some situation like that, you're always the person that is able to this and that, whatever. It's very hard to say that that's getting to you, and that not only that it's getting to you, that you don't want to do that anymore. And so everybody goes through that, and there needs to be that understanding and that caveat, so it doesn't sound like I'm callous when I say, well, let's be honest, you really do. That's part of it, but it's also like we all go through this. It's hard to think that we can't, well, maybe for some, but other people might not have a problem. Like, I don't care. But for the Virgos I'm reading for right here, this is hard to not want to do something, to not want to be the glue anymore, to not want to be the one that can handle everything and always rally and bring everything back. And this is you going, I don't want to do that anymore. I want to take my chances by myself. If there's business involved, just saying, if this is you not only not wanting to move forward with whatever joint agreement that is, you want to be by yourself, but if it's also about starting a business by yourself, this is a good time to do that also. Whatever you set in motion, particularly in the area of work or money, it's advisable, or it's a good time to do that. To kind of start, instead of joining with that whatever it was, person or group or organization, like this company or whatnot, it's a good time to pull back, think about it, and start it on your own. Start it on your own. Okay. All right. Okay. Four of Cups reversed and Page of Wands. All right. What is that all about? Is this you just... Is that why? Because you're bored and you're like, oh, I think I'm just kind of not feeling it. Okay, so that's a good reason to start something, not a good reason to rejoin something because you're bored. You should only be doing that, obviously, and I know you know this, if you feel strongly about it. So I think this is you kind of feeling like, you know what, my heart's just not in it where I'm at anymore. I want to try something new. And this is saying go for it. It's a good time to try that new thing. So whatever you were part of, you know that it's kind of like, I don't belong here anymore. And I shouldn't have to make myself do it just because it's familiar and safe and out of duty and obligation. This is you trying that new thing, getting the green light to try the new thing. Your misgivings are correct. Don't doubt your intuition. Tag somebody in if you need that push. All right. Okay. All right. So yes, green light. Start that new thing. Okay. Okay, Virgo. Thank you for listening, as long as, good Lord, 20 minutes, stopping by, and much love to you. Happy birthday later in the month, and I hope this was helpful. Start that new thing. Okay, all right. Okay, take care.